What's up? Welcome to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get into this queen chat. I'm Monique Loveless, Queens, even though we don't have the other one, even though we don't have TK, I should say the other one. Even though we don't have TK this week, Kiki, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kiki Boom Boom.
And our queen TK is out right now. We miss you, love you, and
Yes,
we'll
girl.
see her again in a few weeks. Or we'll hear from her again in a few weeks. So, yeah, super excited. Today, I ain't gonna lie, we were supposed to have a guest, but the guest didn't show up. So, it's y'all just gonna get the queens today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about a cute little subject, though. It's called pay to play. So I was just telling you, Kiki, I was having a conversation with someone special, we'll say that.
Ooh.
And we were talking about, and I think he was real about it. We were talking about how people don't want to admit it, especially guys, but most guys have paid to have sex.
Mm. Shit, I think all guys have. You know what's funny? There was an episode, I always bring Sex in the City into this, where she was dating this guy and he was from like France and they hooked up and he left an envelope on the dresser.
Oh
So
yeah.
she didn't know. So I always wondered from women, like, has that ever happened to anyone with a guy's like, thank you for your services? And you're like, am I a sex worker or what just happened? Or is he just saying thank you for a good time?
Right. Like, how would you feel if somebody did that though?
At first, I would have that moment where I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But then I'm opening that envelope to see how much is in there. And then I
Exactly.
throw it in the bank. And then I'm going to be like, if you want to give me money, it didn't start off that way. But if you're going to pay, I appreciate you for thinking that, you had a great time. Thanks.
Exactly. That's what I say too. Like, listen, I'm gonna take my reward and I'm going to feel blessed and thank God for it because clearly he knew I
I
needed
got
it.
paid to do a job that at first I didn't probably sign up for and I didn't know. But when I woke up and he was gone, he paid for his services. And I'm like, thank you so much, sir. But I am going to have that moment at first where I'm going to be like, what the fuck? But then once that clears, you're like, well, here we are.
I think I would have one moment where it would be like, am I a prostitute if I accept?
Yeah, I'd be like in the episode when she was sitting on the bed, like, what the fuck did, and then her friends were like, girl,
Girl, get
take
this
that damn
room
money.
service and take that money. You broke right now.
I said, he's a gentleman.
That's what I said too.
Thanks, sir.
I'm like, if she bitches, she broke. Shit, take that money.
Listen, sex is a service, whether you are a sex worker or not. It's a job, it's a service, and most of the time, like it kills me when men be like, "Oh, women want it," blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if y'all want to fuck, like the fact that y'all even think that women and men should just do whatever y'all want for the fucking basics, it's a little annoying. And yeah, we're not saying that you have to pay for everything, but to do that, have that whole mindset, like, oh, all they want is free meals, and I'm like, and all
Yeah,
you want is ass. Like, what
yeah,
the fuck?
exactly. Would you have you been paid before for sex?
I've never been paid, and that's unfortunate. That sucks. Now that I think about it, I'm like, no one's ever paid. I mean, yes, in the dating
He said
sense,
that's unfortunate.
it's unfortunate. In the dating sense, yes, but of course we're dating, so I'm rewarded when I have a man
Yeah,
who's treating me nice. But I've never, like, no one's ever handed me money after we've had sex, and that is
right.
unfortunate because I feel like it should happen more often.
It should happen more often. I haven't been paid to have sex, but I have been paid to like dance.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. Mhm.
Have you okay, so you know they have the sugar daddy sites where
Mhm.
there are men requesting women to, they'll pay them for time,
Yes.
cuddles,
Yes.
snuggles,
Yes.
dancing. Is that
Yes.
something that you would explore? Because I know
I
that's something I
have.
would.
I
Okay, because
have.
I definitely have.
I have. I have. I've gotten paid for conversation just to
I got
like,
paid for conversations.
yeah. I've gotten paid to dance, which I was fine with.
That's cool.
Um, I've gotten paid for a happy ending, but I got to keep all my clothes on.
I got paid for a massage, but
Yeah.
but like
Um,
fully clothed.
yeah, fully clothed. No oral, no nothing. Just literally
I love
like,
those
and it
guys.
was like a massage, but it was like this. He wanted it like just like fingertips. So it was just like
Ooh.
running
I
down.
love learning the specifics and the kinks that men and women have. I like that.
Yes. I've gotten paid for like companion travel, but I stayed in a whole different room.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I'm
Now
waiting
y'all
for
know why I act the way I act.
I'm waiting for someone to pay me just to, like, eat food, like, watch me eat or take that's the
You
job
mean
dream
like
job I
you go
want,
out to a dinner and they don't say nothing, you
and they
just
just watch me eat, like, mukbang, and just literally watch me fucking eat and you pay me. That's so ho like, I'm waiting for that guy. Where is he? Pay me to eat, or he comes and cooks me dinner just to watch me eat. Damn, you know what that I just described? There's a thing when the big plus size women I forgot
oh
what
my
the term is.
gosh, I've heard of
Never
that.
mind, I take that back because that's a thing when skinny men fetishize big women, and I feel horrible now that I'm thinking about it. And they pay them to eat so they can stay big. Oh,
Well, there's sites for paid used panties.
there are because I've
Yes.
done that before. Hey, if that's what your kink, I just need my money. I don't
You
judge what
sent
you.
your used panties
I
and
did it
they pay
once.
you for it.
Yeah, I did that once. I was like, this is nasty, but I like it.
Yeah, that's weird. And even some, it's such a fetish that even some want you like when you're on your not like your period.
See, that's different.
They'll
I
want
haven't.
those panties. They don't want you to put on anything. They just want you to kind of like
What the hell? I'm
period
not
panties
kink
on.
shaming, but look, OnlyFans kind of turned into a, when OnlyFans first started, it was originally like if you had a fan, if you were a chef, if you were a makeup artist, and people would pay. But I think during the pandemic, excuse me, it turned into a like, hey, pay me to watch me paint this photo with my feet. Pay me
Yeah,
to sprinkle cupcakes on my titties. Like it became like
right.
it's a thing, and people have different kinks, and I love
Have
it. So
you
I kind
ever
of
been on the dating website? I had when Tyra Banks was on, she had like promoted it, and I had gotten on a few times.
hmm.
I don't know how it is now, but it was called "What's Your Price?" So before you go out
No.
on a date,
What?
they have to pay you to date you. Yes,
Bitch, I wish I knew about that. No.
yes, it's called "What's Your Price?" and they have to literally like pay you to date you.
Can someone
Yeah.
please bring that back? Or is this still a
It's still
thing?
I think it's still up. I don't know how it's gotten since we've gotten Tinder and stuff, but
Look at me. You said, what's your
yes,
price?
it's called "What's Your Price?" and it's
I
a dating
found
app.
it.
Yes,
For
yes,
those who are watching this and not listening, I found, damn it, Nakia. I found what's your price.com. Sign
yes.
up for free. This is amazing. Thank you, Monique. Ooh. For research purposes only.
That's what she say now until she start getting them coins. And we hear her come back on like, yo, I had this date and he had to pay this much amount just to talk
Listen.
to me. You can put up like your list of stuff that you want and they can go through your list and buy you things, like buy
What?
stuff from your list to send to you. Yeah, I've gotten bags.
Oh my
A lot of the
gosh.
time I did like lists because there's things that I just wanted. And I
Right.
know when I get money in my hand, I find something different to do with it. So I was like,
I'm
let me
about to
just
put
get
my
what I want.
Amazon fucking wish list on that bitch. Like, I
Yeah.
need all this for my apartment.
Yeah. Cause I had gotten on when I was younger. So I was like, oh, I could do this.
You
And
know what? I want to ask you. So we asked Josh, like, and especially because it's widely known that men pay for sex. But do you think it's a
yeah.
double standard? Like, would you ever pay a guy for sex?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many times that I've wanted to just pay somebody for sex, but we don't have websites like that. I
We
can't
don't.
hardly find just to get on a website and pay a man to just come over, fuck me really good,
And
and
just
leave.
leave. I feel like someone needs to come up with that for women because for
Leave.
men got they got the bunny ranch, they got fucking they could jerk off in a fucking hole in the wall. Women, we don't have a place because there are women who just genuinely enjoy sex, and I think society has made it that women are like fucking sexual prudes. And I'm like, I feel like we probably enjoy sex more than men. It's just that there's not a safe space for us. And then if it is, it's
Yes.
couples. And I'm like, great for the couples, but what about just women who just want to fuck?
Right. And there are times where you just want to have sex. You don't want the attachment. You don't want to like do none of that. Or you could just pay him to be your travel bag. You know how many times
Okay.
you want your travel bag?
I would pay someone to be my brunch bae or take photos of me. I'm paying you to
Yeah,
take photos of me for the day, bitch. Thank you. You know what? I'm coming up
but
with
you
that.
have to do it naked. You have to do it naked. You
He
be
has
like,
to
you
know.
gotta
He has
take
to
photos of
spend the
me
day
naked.
with me, and I take him to brunch, and his job is to solely just take fucking photos of me, and then we go a little brunch day. Ooh, I'm about to come up with the site.
Oh, did you see where that lady went to that paint and sip and gave the guy head?
Yo, first of all,
I'm telling y'all.
how come my paint and sips don't be like lit like that? I see all these
Right.
videos of women fucking like the strippers at the bachelorette parties, and I'm like, now I'm not gonna lie, have been to some bachelorette parties that do get a little out of control, and I be like, yo, the men are the women, you little freaky little things. I I've even got offers from male strippers, and I'm like, oh, y'all just
Girl, you didn't sit on it? Oh my gosh. I went to a
no.
strip club. My first time going to a male strip club. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I don't
Like
like
it
male
didn't
strip
feel
clubs.
the same as when you go to like a women's strip club. It didn't have that vibe. It was just kind of
Yeah,
like it was like a prodigy, is that what it's called? It felt like a
I,
prodigy.
it's kind of creepy. I don't like it.
No, I don't
I don't like it.
either. And it's like hilarious because I'm like, no, this is weird. But if I could actually go on like a site and pay for some dick or a travel
Listen,
day or something like,
vacation bay. You just go on vacation. You just fuck. Listen,
yes,
the men in Jamaica. There's like a whole documentary on it. Well, I have a few friends who've been to Jamaica, and they're like, "Yo,
or
they
male
met men."
escort.
Kind of where there's a documentary where the young men they meet the older women and they become their little sugar
Mhm,
babies. But I
mhm.
have friends who like my friend was like, yeah, I had a waiter in Jamaica and he was catering to me and we fucked in the restaurant. She was like, that was the hottest thing I've ever seen. I was like, where's my flight to Jamaica?
Girl, I'm going for my 35th. Just
Yes.
so I have the opportunity to maybe
Girl,
see.
I'm supposed to be going in June for my friend's birthday because she is Jamaican, so she wants to go home. And I'm like, sis, where is the? But like you said, like I feel like women, we don't have those outlets. Men have them, and if women are involved, it's always a couple thing, like couple sex parties or
Yeah,
couple. And I'm like, what about just women who just want to pay for sex,
right, right. I
and
mean,
the
I
men
guess
that are okay with it,
necessarily we don't have to because you could get on Tinder and be like, I just want sex tonight.
and a
And
man would run over immediately.
yeah, there would be multiple messages. So I guess necessarily you don't have to pay for it.
Right. That's true. Because men, or maybe we have a site where the men pay us to fuck us.
Oh, yeah.
You have to pay me for having I don't pay you, you pay me for having sex with me. That's so
But those
conceited.
are already escorts.
That yeah, that's true. Look at me, I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh, those are already like prostitutes and stuff. Okay, this goes into sex work. Would you do sex work
um I think sex what's interesting about sex work, there's so many different types of sex work. There are I don't even know the proper term to call people who because I don't even think I guess prostitution, which I feel like
though?
they
Well, you
need
have
to
like
do
prostitution, stripping,
porn,
dominatrix,
stripping. I
porn.
would. Okay, so funny story. I applied to be like a phone sex operator when I was younger, and I did it for a little bit, but because I am so stupid and goofy, I'm not good with having phone sex with people. So it just didn't work out for me. So that is a form of sex work that I did do.
Were you
Um,
laughing while you was on the
yes,
phone?
I was like, like, hey, big boy, take that dick out. And then I'm in the fucking corner cracking up, like, and I don't ever want to kink shame anybody. So it just doesn't work for me. But I did do that. But I would love to, for a day, be paid to be a dominatrix. I'm just saying.
Oh yes. You know, I just contacted somebody because I was like,
Ooh.
yo, how do you get into dominatrix? And I think like because isn't black, which I feel like I should say this, but because she isn't black, I haven't invited her on the show. But I think we need to start widening that because she's not black, and I feel like
We
she
should
should
bring
come
her
on
on
the
because
show.
she can give a little insight of like, because I think,
Yeah, like
what's the
dominatrix.
movie that was out with Homeboy? Something Gray is whatever.
Yeah,
I
great. 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, I think it's cool to see women and hear women kind of talk about them taking on those leadership roles and being dominatrix because it's kind of sexy.
Yeah, they say it gives them so much confidence,
Hell
like
yeah.
so
Like,
much.
lick my boots. See, I'd be a good dominatrix.
No,
Get
you
on
really
that
because you can't
floor.
even take that seriously. You be like, lick
Exactly.
my boobs.
I'm horrible. Horrible. Horrible person. They be like, girl, please, you're fired. You cannot be here.
Like six, what was it? Maybe like 7 years ago or so. One time I was going to try webcamming, and I was like, well, that lasts way too long. This is
Listen,
before like OnlyFans, but I
I
was
was gonna
feeling.
say,
I think
back
I
in the
was going
day,
through some shift, and I was just feeling sexy, and I was just like, yes, like I could webcam right now because it's gonna make me some money. And
hey,
then
the
one of the
webcam girls.
girls was telling me how much she made, and I was like, "Oh, bitch, no, this is not for me."
Yeah. I used to think about doing webcam stuff and I was like, they don't make enough money for me. I need
Oh, and then I fell into this because in Atlanta I used to be a waitress for a strip club. So
ooh.
my thing because I made so much money there is like sex work is fast money.
Yeah.
And so when I first got here, I was like, I'm not going back to a strip club because they don't make any money like that, like they were out in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was like, the cocktail waitresses don't make nothing here. And then they were also telling me that I would have to actually dance because like
Mm.
cocktail waitressing was for the little skinnier girls and the girls who, the exotics and stuff.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh, no, I don't think I could do that. So I had met this Thai lady and she had talked me into like, she was like, no, you just do massages. Like, we don't do none of
Mm.
that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, do I get to keep my clothes on and stuff? She was like, yeah. So she taught me how to do like massages. And she was like, you'll get paid this much. Just come to the building, just come to the office or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I went to the office. I actually still have a friend from that position. So
Yes.
it was like 3 days. One guy came in and he was like, because it was this other black lady that was there. And I guess she was doing favors. Because she was like, I'm gonna give you my client. I was like, okay, cool. He comes in, he's like, oh, he's getting his massage. Because they pay a lot for that. Like
Ooh.
for the massages, I was making about $350. Yeah, just for an hour massage.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Clothes on, no touching, no nothing, like none of that. And so he asked me, he was like, do you do extras? I was like, extras like what? And he was like, well, she does this. And he was like, oral. And I was like, hell no, I don't do that. I was like,
Sir,
no.
please. No.
And he was like, you charge more. I was like, I can charge more for anything. He was giving me game. He was like, you could charge more. Butt naked, sitting on the table, giving me game. And I was like, charge more for what? He was like, well, you're beautiful. So if you just like massaged me with your shirt off, you could charge extra. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so can I charge an extra like $100? And he was like, you can charge whatever you want.
Ooh.
So there was like little tweaks like that because I love, if I could walk around, my best friend knows this. If I could walk around, if I walk around with my breasts out,
Okay.
I would. Like, I love
Listen.
my girls that much. I would literally walk around with no shirt. I do in my
Same.
house all day.
I walk
My
around like that at
windows,
home now.
yeah, my windows be open, titties out.
My
I
shit
don't
be
care.
wide open. Drew will come through. I'm like, sorry, girl. I'll head to the kitchen. Like, my bad.
Right.
Like, what?
So literally, I was like, "Oh, so this is an idea. I can have my boobs out and charge an extra $150."
That's lit. I'm sorry.
Girl, when I tell you I was making so much money, it was psycho.
That's
It
just
was
lit.
it was crazy. And that
I,
kind of that kind of let me know that there was different parts of like sex work in the industry
mhm.
besides those top like stripper porn stuff like
Yeah.
that. So when that ended, I had done something and I was like, well, I could go back to cocktail waitressing to make some extra money. I had found this spot. I don't know if you've ever known about this, but I found this spot. It was like that's when Backpage was still going.
Remember Backpage?
Oh my gosh, why were we on Backpage?
Refresh.
That's where we could have bought some dick, Kiki. Like
Listen, Backpage was lit.
Backpage was something else. Um, there's these places in LA. They're like nightclubs. They're kind of like, and it's like what you saw on Rush Hour. Like you stand there
Oh
and
yes.
they pick the girls who they want to like dance with and stuff. These girls don't have to have sex with them. They don't have to do anything with them. They just have to line up. It was so I was like, what the fuck? They just line up and these guys go and pick them.
Wow.
Now, of course, if they want to make extra money, I think some of them were
Yeah.
escorts so that they can make extra money outside of that. But it was literally just like you going into this club and you pick these girls, you pay for them. You got to pay for them once you pick them. You pay their price. So you pay a fee
Right.
to get in, right? You have to pay a fee to get in, and then you have to you pay the girl once you pick her, and then they dance with you and talk to you and sit down and have drinks with you, and it's like,
That's the type of job I need.
right,
I need that. Well, that reminds me of like these celebrities do that. Like rappers will pay models to be their girlfriends, or like remember when Black
yeah,
China was like these guys were paying her for promo, but they were her fake boos. I was like, Black China started a whole little business. Like these dudes were paying her to be like on her arm for promo, and rappers
right.
will pay the models to be their girlfriends.
That's how I got into cocktail waitressing because I did promo, which is like, when they come up, they have
Mhm.
all the girls sitting in the VIP. Now bitches just do it. But we used
Yeah.
to get paid for that and still get bottles. These bitches can
Okay.
become dumb. Cause I was in like that with like GZ and Diddy and
Mm,
like a few of them. Like I would do promo work, so they'll like say, "Hey, come out to the club. This is the promo
right.
work. This is the price." And I mean, we was getting paid like $450.
That's what I'm saying.
Be cute, and you're sitting in VIP with bottles, and they wouldn't necessarily name the celeb, but you could get on the club and you see who's promoting that night.
Yeah.
And that's what you would do. You come in, that's your place. You come in on time, you look cute, you sit at the table, you have fun, you hype people, you get other girls, like the girls that are down in you get them to come up.
Okay, that's a perfect job.
Like,
I need
I
that for a
was
side gig.
oh, I heard this. But it wasn't like a consistent thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I need
it
that
was
for a side
that.
gig.
And then I remember one time, I got a lot of clearly sex stories. I remember one time I don't know what happened, but I had went to look at this. It was like this, it was something, I don't know, but it was like this adult bookstore, whatever. I think this is when I remember you had like movies and stuff for porn
Mhm.
instead of like streaming
No,
porn.
you have to go in and buy your fucking DVDs.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think I was like looking for a dildo or something, and somebody came out like a back door, and I was like, "Oh, where'd he come from?" And they was like, "Are you interested?" And of course, I was like, "Yeah, I'm interested. What's going on?" Like, so it was a real. This was
Mhm.
back in my hometown. It was a real, not my hometown, but in Ohio.
Yeah.
It was a real place where they had like the glass women. Like
Yep.
you would
They
sit in
Yo, they still low
talk.
key do. Like I watched this dope documentary about like New York. Like New York Times Square was like crazy. Where in the 70s and 80s, you would go into like they had sex stores on the whole fucking block. You can go in and see, like you said, the glass women. You can go in a glory hole. You can go into a back room and fuck. You can go get a lot of something like yo, and they still low key still have them.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, why not?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Like if
Why
you're
not?
into
If you
that,
ain't, sometimes I feel like if you ain't got to fuck, they make good money for not having to do too much, but what you already do.
exactly. I'm in a glass. I'm dancing for you. You put the little coin in, and you're like, I'd be like,
One guy, he was just paying for the girl to sit like on OnlyFans. He was literally just sitting. He was literally paying for her to sit there and read a book. And
why
she
am
was
I
in
not doing
lingerie. I would never forget it. She was sitting there,
this?
legs crossed. She had a book. She had on glasses. Like she looked very like astute.
Yeah, like a
Her
teacher
hair been a
fantasy.
bun.
Like
Yeah, and she just had on lingerie. She had on a bra and some little
what?
lacy panties, and that was it. And he was putting money in there, just paying the shit out of her.
I think
Mhm.
honestly, more people would do sex work if it was like safer. And like they're trying. I know they're trying to make it more safer for people, especially people who are like street workers and people that like are what are those places called where the madams used to be at? Like, I feel like if it was safer, more people would do it because you just never know who's gonna show up. And as someone who watches too much murder documentaries, some men just take it, so I think like they need to start doing things where like I know the bunny ranch they had like security, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
they had people check up on, and I think what they should do, especially for like street walkers or prostitution, there need to be more bunny ranch houses where the women and men who are sex workers feel safe, they get tested, which I think some places do that, but they feel like they're okay and not afraid to like get in someone's car and
but
Lord
I also
knows.
feel like it has a negative connotation around it through
It does, and I
society.
hate that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think now it start like because people are even embracing like the OnlyFans and stuff. And I think like, sex workers are saying like, hey, this is a fucking job and we also need respect too. But you're right, it has such a negative like connotation towards it where people are like, oh, they're street workers. And it's like they have a job. And I feel like
right.
they need benefits, they need security, they need the shit like that's a tough job to do. So
Would you
I
do
think more people would do it if they felt like they had better security.
would you do porn? Like say if it was with like your man or something, would you have like a sex tape? Would you do porn?
No. Now, have I before?
Do you have a
Sure.
video out there, Kiki?
No, so here's my thing. I hope not because when I was very young, and this is why like I didn't fuck with Hennessy anymore. I was dating a guy and we got fucked up. I was like 22 years old, drinking Hennessy. Now, this we had sex and it was consensual, but I kind of like blacked out when we were fucking. So the next day I woke up and he was like, "Oh, we made a tape." And I said, "Who is we?" Because bitch, I don't know who you talking to. And I was very like, that shit kind of freaked me out because I didn't agree to it. So we had to have a serious sit down. I was like, you need to fucking erase that right now. Yes, I agreed to the sex, but I never wanted to be recorded. So I tell you this, if I ever, I hope a motherfucker is listening, ever, you will be sued so fast because I didn't agree to it. So I did it unbeknownst to me. So that's my thing. Now, the ones I've known about, I had like a dude I was dating and he didn't I wasn't comfortable with being recorded like having sex, but he recorded like me doing oral, which I didn't mind. I was like, all right, that's cool. But sex
Mhm.
wise, I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared.
Would you do it like say you had your man or whatever? Would you do it with
Yeah.
OnlyFans or something like that?
No. I would
No.
do it if it was just like us and like you want to make a tape and it's my tape and I keep it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't probably, don't get me wrong. I've watched porn when there's a lot of couples doing it and I'm like, this is cool. But I wouldn't do it. I watch like porn and it's like just couples at home and they try to hide their face and I'm like, well, okay. And they're just fucking for money.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be opposed to like doing a sex tape with my man or whoever I'm dating. But I have to like keep the stuff. Like you
You
can't
have
keep
to
that.
keep the
I
tape
have to
so
it's my tape. Listen, I'm watching the Tommy and Pam show on Hulu,
that
and it's crazy because though this was the 90s, he had it in a safe and
yeah.
someone took their safe, but he wasn't nice to the person that did it. So I understood that. But I would definitely explore that with like if my man wanted to, but I wouldn't do it online. Would you?
You wouldn't do it on OnlyFans? If
Nah.
it's my man, like my husband or
Yeah.
something, and I am the type that's more like, let's have like face coverings because I don't have any like tattoos or
Right.
nothing.
See, like I would have to have makeup on and shit. And
Yeah,
gloves.
I feel like I would be down to do it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you and your man and you're like, we can make doing it together. Because again, there's mad porn that I've seen that I watch a lot of porn to the people that's listening, but it's couples fucking on webcams, and I'll be like, this is kind of nice. Like they just do this at home, and it'd be a lot of black couples. I'd be like, oh, I know
Black
that's right.
couples? Where you be finding this at?
I'll link you. I'll send you the links.
You didn't say you be on Twitter. You didn't say you
Listen,
be on
Twitter. Okay. Twitter itself, for those who are listening, I find it funny when like a lot of my friends get kicked out of their accounts for saying like I'm gonna slap somebody or whatever when they're a
Yeah,
little
Twitter
like
has porn.
Twitter is a full porn. Twitter has turned into Pornhub. There are
Yes.
people openly fucking on Twitter, and it blows my mind because I'm like, God damn, y'all just Snapchat. Remember, Nelly just got in trouble because he thought he was uploading
That's
to the
what I'm
close
saying.
friends.
How does everybody's video leak on Twitter? Twitter knows before everybody so clearly. But I heard somebody talking about that they now watch their porn on Twitter.
No, literally, it's a whole thing. You don't even have to go to a site. Twitter has so much porn. It's actually scary. I'm like, this is scary that this is on Twitter.
Do
But
you
I
do you what kind of porn do you watch?
let's see. I do watch like black guy, black girl, but because like this is funny. I told this guy that I was dating, like the type of porn I watch because he asked me. Because I'm a curvier girl, I like to see curvy girls have sex because I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to picture that be me. I also do watch black women have sex with like interracial sex, like with white men, Hispanic men, Asian men. I do. Yes, I do. Yep. So I watch like black guy, black girl, but like curvy black. No, I watch all type of black women, but like I watch like black couples, and then I'll watch a black woman have sex with someone who is not black, which is kind of like a turn on. I don't really get into like the crazy stuff because I have friends who have like different kinks. I just watch like regular. For me personally, I'm not a fan of anal sex, so I can't watch anal porn.
Yeah, anal porn.
The camera just be too close. It'd be too close. I'd be like, back up, back
And then
up.
when they cream pie, it's disgusting. I'll be
I
like,
cannot watch anal sex. Or if I'm watching a porno and they start doing anal, I'm like, oh, no, get out of there.
Yeah,
but that's me though.
Anal, like watching anal sex, I don't like.
I don't like it. I can't watch that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna get judged.
Watch gay porn.
I do watch gay porn. Listen, there is a bar in North Hollywood. If anyone's listening to this, it's a gay bar, and me and my friends used to go a lot. They on the screen show gay porn. So I remember the gay men would laugh. And I was so intrigued. So I'd be at the bar ordering, and then I would look up and be like, wow, like it screens everywhere. And because it's so interesting, I'd be like, okay. So like I don't watch it to like get off. I watch it because I think it's interesting. But it's not like to like get me off. I just be like, this is kind of lit. And what moves can I learn from gay men that I can take with me? Okay, something new that I started watching. I'm gonna get judged this whole episode, so it's fine. I watched this is embarrassing. I watched like this black girl have sex with like this older guy, not old like grandpa old, but he looked like he was like in his 50s. And I was like, damn, is that like a fantasy of me sex with an old rich man?
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I dabble in. What type of porn do you watch if you do watch porn?
I do watch porn. I feel like I'm gonna get judged.
No, this is a safe space.
I do watch porn. I do what most women do is like girl on girl because that's what they say. A lot of women watch lesbian porn.
I do watch it. Sometimes I get bored. I watch it and then I'm like, okay, enough screaming.
And I just learned that I think I have a fetish. Sometimes I watch like a lot of times I watch like voyeurism, which is public sex or public masturbation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've known on other episodes, I've talked about that. Like, I like having public sex.
It's hot.
Yeah. Like, so I watch that too. And I think sometimes it's because, maybe you can have a new takeaway or a new place that you're like, ooh, this looks So
You're like, this is hot.
yeah. And then sometimes this guy got me on this, and I just think it's super fascinating. Is fisting. Have you ever seen
Ooh,
fisting?
of course I've seen that before. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
I
so
feel like
fascinating to me.
I like it, but I just feel like some men just be overdoing it. When I watch it, I'm like, oh God, those poor vaginas and assholes. They're like I've seen it, and I'm like, that is different.
Fisting. There was this guy. He was so cool. Like when I was down at like one of my worst points, he tried to talk to me, but when he realized that I was just down, he just like befriended me.
Yeah.
So I used to go to his house all the time. And one day I walked in, he had like 2 computers set up, and he was just like, I think I'm addicted to porn. And I was just like, well, what are you watching? And he turned it on, and it was fisting. And I was so fascinated. I was like, first I was taken back. I was like, what?
Right, you're like, what is this?
Yeah. And then in my own time, I was like, yo, I'm kind of
like, wait, what's that website? You're like punchpuss.com.
Oh my gosh. I was fucking fascinated. I was like, especially the ones that do it good, like when they start with the fingers.
Yes.
You
something else I dabbled in, and I'm probably ashamed to say this. I watched, it's not even that bad. I sometimes watch like black men have sex with non-black women, and I'm like, why the fuck am I watching this? I'm sick. I'm like, why am I watching them have sex with white women? And I like it. It's weird.
Lately, I can't lie because, like, so I am able to, what's a good way of putting it? So when you know your body, you're able to do certain things. And yes. I'm able to squirt on my own, but I'm not able to do it with another guy or a guy.
Yeah.
So I feel like lately I've been looking at those videos, but technique.
Like, yes, because it is a technique. Because I have a friend who does it on her own, and she's like, it's like a mental thing. And she's like, I can make myself do it. And I'm like, damn, a goal. I
can do it on my own, but I cannot do it with my.
I feel like when I watch porn and I like masturbate or whatever, and I use a toy, to me, I get off like super easy. But when I have sex with a guy, I'm like, okay, all right, it's a little different, I guess, when I'm by myself.
Maybe we should turn on some porn.
Right, I'm like, let's watch this video first, and then we bring the toy out. Because what you're doing is not.
I feel like men should look at porn for instructional reasons, because they're clearly, if y'all haven't listened, we have a female orgasm episode that was last season 3. You guys need to go and listen to that, because men are not out here giving orgasms.
They really are. I do like a man who is in the bedroom and they're like, yo, you got a toy? Bring that out. I want to like get you off. And I'm like, oh, I love you. So I do appreciate that man. But a lot of men, like you said, are not listening. And you're like, sir, please, I'm telling you how to get me off.
Yes.
Like, listen to me. So I think you're right. Like when I was younger, I was not into like, not that I wasn't into it. I just didn't think I was good at oral sex, orally pleasing a man. I wasn't into it. Now in my 30s, it's a little different. But I used to watch.
I be thinking about you sometimes. I be like, should I go all the way in the back of the shaft and all that?
Listen, let me tell you something. And I watched porn and learned how to get better at it, because I was so insecure in my 20s. I dated a guy and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And now I remember a guy that I dated, and we hooked up we've been hooking up for like years. We hooked back up as I got older, and of course we got to that part, and he was like, yo, what have you learned? And I'm like, I take notes. There's certain porn stars that I would watch, certain girls that I would watch do the technique, and I got better.
So would you watch them and then practice on the person that you were? Because I always felt like I was like, well, since I learned, I feel like I get good head. But because I don't do it a lot, I don't think I give the best head.
I wasn't the great in my 20s because I didn't like it. I was like, bitch. I don't want it in my mouth. Men are gross. They don't fucking wash their balls. Like I was very like in my 20s, like ew. But then I would watch the girls and I would see the master of how they would, and I would purposely like be bad at it because I didn't want to keep doing it. I was so selfish and rude.
Maybe that's what mine is. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you be like, I'm done. You're like, let me bite this person. You're like, oops, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know I couldn't use my teeth.
Oh, that bite him.
Yo. So then I would
You
watch
bite
it
a
and I
nigga,
would
he gonna be like, never again. Don't ever go down there.
exactly. So I'm like, fine. So I would watch girls like Pinky and other girls and would watch them fucking master. And then I would date and then I would try. And then the guy that I used to hook up with and we hooked up, he was like, what the fuck? Because me and him hooked up in my early 20s where I wasn't so secure. Then
Yeah.
later in life, when I was very secure with myself and my body and my sexuality, he got a different experience. And I was like, yeah, because I thoroughly enjoy it now. And I studied the girls who did
How did
it.
you start enjoying giving head? Like, I just don't enjoy
You want to
it.
know what it is? It's not the act, but I enjoy pleasing a man and I get very competitive. So when I hear a man moan, I'm like, oh, I got you. This is fucking perfect. So I get more into it when I know that I'm turning you on. This is a sick fucking episode. And I pray no one listens to this. I hope no man I've ever had sex with listens to this. Is the episode my dad, because my dad used to be like, you know, I love your podcast. This will be the one he fucking listens to. But I get off by pleasing a man because I never liked the act, but now that I know that I'm doing it, and then I know this is a PG podcast. I have to tell you privately the shit that I do like that I'm giving head. And men love it.
Hold on, you need to like literally hold like a little private class or something.
No, literally, because I get so much compliments now. I'm like, oh, thank you.
I do not get compliment on my head. This is the last two people I've had sex with literally was like, oh, you're sexy.
They're like, that's nice. Good job. But
And I'm like, damn, I know I'm a penetration girl. I know I can
I'm a penetration girl. I rather just fuck. But and again, every guy that I give like the good head to is not like I don't do that for every guy that I have sex with. It's like someone I'm dating or I really like, or you made me feel comfortable where you get like the head of like. And I've had guys be like, yo, and I'm like, it's just I watch porn. It's not that I'm sucking everybody's dick. It's just literally porn has helped me get better at pleasing a man.
I need to get better at it. But I think also like
and you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
Like because there's men who don't like eating pussy, which is a shame. But again, I'm a penetration girl, so I rather just let's just get it off.
But I want to be like Cardi B and say my head game is fire and my pussy's Dasani. Like, because of course we already got the latter part.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's an ego boost. I've gotten compliments and I be like,
yes,
thank you. But in my 20s, I was horrible. Like my ex used to be like, fam, we don't gotta even, because I was so bad. And it's because I didn't like it. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Why gotta give you head? So I didn't care. But then when I started watching like Pinky and Cherokee and all those fucking fly ass black girls, I was like, yo, they onto something.
Sometimes I feel like it's hard though to just learn from a video.
You gotta, when you're learning, practice makes perfect. So I would watch and then I would try it. And the guy would be like, okay, this is different. And then I had to work on my game because it wasn't like the first time it was perfect.
Yeah, it has to be practice. Practice.
You gotta practice.
Perfect. And I don't feel like I get enough practice, but I don't want
to. Living here, I haven't gotten a lot, but over the time. But yeah, it's for me, it's pleasing the man. It's hearing him moan that turns me on, and that's when I get into it.
Yeah, I feel like the moaning part, yes, I definitely.
I'd be like, bro, you better moan.
Yeah, when they moan, you know you got them. You're like, oh,
I'm like, I got your soul, bitch.
I got you. I got you. Go ahead, moan again. I got you.
Greatest feeling ever.
Greatest feeling. It really is an ego boost when you hear them moan or they say something when they say it aggressive.
Oh my god! When they start talking shit and you're like, oh, I got him. This is perfect.
They be like, oh shit.
Listen, I found out that my new kink is like words of affirmation when I'm having sex with like a guy who can talk you through a nut. That's my new kink.
How does that go? Let me see if I'm on to something.
Like if you're having sex and the guy's like, or say you're even giving head and guy, they move your hair out the way and they start helping you, or they say things like, "That's you're a good girl." I'm like, oh God.
Oh, that's nasty.
Exactly. But imagine them saying that. You're like, oh, I'm about to fuck this. My kink is words of affirmation. Like, you're so
Oh
beautiful, you're
my
sexy.
god.
They talk you through a nut. Like, I love being talked through words of affirmation. Like,
I love that because
that
when they
shit's
talk
hot.
about love languages, you're like my kink language.
My kink is it's a love language. Mm-hmm.
My kink, my love language for my kink is basically I like to be talked to very dirty, very nasty, very nasty.
Me too. Disrespectful.
And don't put a lick with it. You lick somewhere. Oh, it's on.
Oof.
Where you like give me a little choke, a little choke.
A little. I'll be like, bitch. Oh, see, here's my thing.
Listen, I'm trying to keep it PG-13.
I'm trying. So I'm aggressive naturally, but in the bedroom, I like to be submissive.
Yeah.
So I like for a man to talk dirty. He
There
may.
are times where I have to tell dude, like I'll tell somebody, I'll be like, oh, slap my ass, pull my hair, like pull.
Like, you can choke me, it's fine. It's okay.
Choke me, do all of these.
Women are sick, and this is why I try to tell men, we are sick. We're just classy about it, and we're not fucking gross like you guys. Women just know how to express ourselves, but we think just like y'all. We love to have sex. There are sexual women.
Think about
we
if
just
you had
express it better.
Could you imagine having like the best sex of your life and getting paid for it?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. I will say, shout out to sex workers because I was watching an interview with a young woman. She's a porn star, and she was just saying like the type of work that they have to put into just for one scene, though. She's like, you got to prepare yourself a week ahead. You have to eat certain things, drink certain things. So I was like, shout out to them because we know the business and how grimy it was for women back then and how women were mistreated. So that's why I respect sex workers because I'm like, they are working. They're putting their lives out there. They are risking their lives, most of them, because sometimes men get a little. But to prepare for that, I'm like,
we should have a fluffer come on.
Yes,
a fluffer.
I seen a real sex episode where it was called Gay for Pay, and he was doing gay porn, but his fluffer was his wife, and she would come on set and get him going, and then he would do the same. I was like, that's cool. That's interesting. And the wife was like, yeah, I'm here. I was like, okay, girl.
He pimped her man out. She's like, listen, this money
is like,
our household.
She would literally get him ready, show her boobs. He would caress her boobs. He would start fingering her. And she was like, all right, go to set. And she watched. And I was like, okay, sis.
You got to send me that link.
I'm going to send you. That was an episode on real sex. If anyone remembers the show Real Sex.
I felt like I saw one episode where they had the gay for pay guy, and I couldn't remember, but they did show his fluffer.
Yes. I'm going to try to Google. I'm trying not to Google it, but I'm trying to find it.
I used to watch that show all the time.
Oh my God. I was like 7 years old watching Real Sex and being like, okay, this is interesting. And I would get in trouble. And remember your back button, your remote would be like Disney Channel, Cartoon Network. The last button, but you were watching like Real Sex or Skinamax. Right. But Real Sex was actually really educational if you think about it.
There was one, I forget what I used to watch too, but they would follow around strippers. And I remember I used to be like, oh, I want to be a stripper because they had just this glamorous life.
Yeah, man. There was one on HBO. They had one for streetwalkers. And I thought it was interesting because, it's a tough job to walk the street and have to deal with that. And you don't know whose car you're getting into. So I remember being so young watching that, just being like, God, I hope they're okay. Like, that's why I think they need to build more places for men and women to feel safe, to go into sex work and have security and not have to deal with the creeps outside.
That's very true. I think that ends this episode on a great note.
This was a great little nasty episode.
This was a nasty episode. Like, I mean, oh my
God. This is the fucking nastiest I've ever talked on this show.
The nastiest. Oh my gosh, I feel kind of like, ooh.
Josh is like, you motherfuckers.
Y'all so nasty. But yes, you for tuning in. We didn't have our guests come in, so we got to be as nasty as we wanted to. Kiki, let them know where they can find you.
Yes, you guys can follow me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom. Monique, I got you on those links. I will send them to
Yes,
you. And if I ever
link
hold a class to teach women and men how to give oral, I got y'all.
those links. I need those links.
I'm sending the links.
Y'all can catch me at Hey Mo Love on all social media platforms. And also make sure you check out at Queens Uncut. Follow us. Continue to put on your notifications for our episodes that drop every Wednesday morning on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're across the board everywhere. Also, make sure you check us out on YouTube at Black Queens Uncut. And you can also check out our website, which is blackqueensuncut.com. Everywhere. We're going to be having a live event soon. I promise. I keep saying that, but I definitely want to have a live event soon. And love you, Queendom family. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye. Love you guys.